What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Blessed be. My name is Mannun, and you're watching Witch in the Working, where we will be discussing all things witchy in and around, throughout and about, above, below, and beyond. So, as you guys know, I'm going through a whole thing where I'm moving and all that stuff. So, I haven't had a lot of time to create more videos that have to do with teaching things and whatnot. So, last week I did a questions and answers video, a live Q&A, and this week I'm decided to do a reaction video. Some of you actually asked for that anyhow, so I thought, why not? I'm gonna go ahead and do one where I have an opportunity where I'm in a kind of downtime situation. But I will have another video coming out on wort cunning, which is herbalism basically, coming out next episode next week. But for today, for this evening, we're going to do a reaction video on a video that's called I Spent a Day with Real Witches. So I've not seen this video yet. To be honest, I watched like the first 30 seconds because we had to find, I had to find one, pick it out. And in the future, if you guys have videos to recommend to do a reaction video, by all means, throw it out at me, and I can do something like that. So we have Pink Tourmaline with us again, who's going to sit with me through this video, sit with us through this video, and also get her reaction also. And I just think it'd be a lot of fun to do, and why not? It's gets me to spend some time with you guys and have a little bit of fun at the same time. So without further ado, first things first, roll the intro. Welcome back, everybody. Okay, so let's get into this. Let's go ahead and play this video and see what we get.
Witches. Those believed to possess malignant supernatural powers and the ability to call upon spirits.
First of all, right off the bat, the whole thing with the witches flying up in the air, totally love it. Happens every Beltane, just part of being a witch. You got to deal with it.
I hate when it happens to me at a red light.
Yeah, and sometimes you got to wear these we like to put on the scuba diving weights, that kind of help weigh you down, but
through the practice of witchcraft. The concept of witchcraft and the belief in its existence have persisted throughout recorded history in many diverse forms, including both primitive and highly advanced cultures, culminating in their modern depiction as evil, wart-nosed cackling beings riding through the sky on brooms wearing pointy hats.
Yes, and all of that came from basically the Christians, where throughout history, especially here in the Americas, where, we were demonized, so to speak. So let's move on.
My name's Anthony Padilla, and today I'm going to be sitting down with witches to learn the truth behind this enigmatic world of the occult. Is the idea of evil witches in modern society merely a product of corporations capitalizing on our fascination with
the Blair Witch Project? Who totally remembers that? I think I was a teenager, still when that came out.
I like when he comes out of the ceiling, that's some witchcraft right there.
Oh no, falling out of the ceiling? Yeah, for sure. I just love the part of the Blair Witch Project where she's sitting there in the middle of the camera and the snot's just pouring down her face and she's freaking out.
Wait a minute, isn't that The Exorcist?
No, that's this one too. She's sitting there and she's crying and she's got snot running down.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay, yeah.
Anyway, okay.
All things scary? Or is there a deeper, more sinister truth to these beings hiding within our society? Are witches just harmless people with vivid imaginations and a unique connection with our world?
Yes.
Pretty much. Well, not all of us are harmless. As long as you don't harm us, we're harmless. So pretty much.
Sure.
Or are they inherently evil devil worshippers?
Devil worshippers. No devil worshippers. I mean, some can be devil worshippers. I'm sure there's devil worshipping witches, but most of them not really.
Yeah, like you could really fall as a witch. You could follow anyone as a deity or what have you. So yeah, a lot of people do as witches follow Satan.
Yeah, there's actually a book out there. I think
Yeah.
it's by Anton LaVey's daughter. It's called The Satanic Witch. I mean, I've never read it, don't know anything about it, but I know there's one out there.
Yeah, there's at least one.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot more.
All right, let's go on here.
Who fantasize about sucking the souls dry of everyone around them for everything they're worth.
Sucking the souls dry. I seen a porno like that one time. It was really awesome. It was unique. It was definitely unique.
Yeah, the offbeat one.
Hi, Monica.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Hey, Dylan. Hi, Shauna.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for coming out and teaching me about the wondrous world of witches.
Of course, I'm always recruiting new coven members.
I'm always recruiting new coven members too. No,
Interesting.
not really. Actually, once we
He
get
doesn't
someone.
look like he's like excited about that at all. Like he's like,
No.
I'm not here for that.
I think it was the word coven that kind
He
of.
was
threw
probably
me.
like, do covens really exist? See, that's probably him because he doesn't.
Most of my coveners actually look like him.
Yeah, like just. He was probably thinking, I didn't even know that was a real thing.
Okay, here we go.
So what do you consider yourself? A witch? A magical being?
A witch, definitely a witch.
I'm a witch. Technically, and more specifically, I'm a strega, meaning
Strega.
that I practice Italian witchcraft. Strega is the Italian word for witch.
Witch.
Witch?
Definitely witch.
Just witch?
Yeah. There are a lot of misconceptions about that word, and I guess a lot of males are like, I'm sure you heard of warlock and wizard.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a comment to make here. So I personally feel like the word warlock kicks ass. And a lot of people out there are like, no, because it means deceiver or whatever, or, it means traitor and whatnot. And you have to understand something, that is from the Christians actually termed that term of warlock as a deceiver or a traitor, and the reason they did it is because that male witch was deceiving or traitoring or whatever you would call that against the Christian religion. So if being called a warlock means basically being defiant and what do you call it, a rebel against that which was suppressing me by being a traitor against it, call me a warlock all day freaking long.
I really like the term warlock. I think there's a lot of different. We do use gender in witchcraft a lot. So to just use witch is fine, but it's nice to have witch and warlock to kind of male and female,
No, for sure.
Not that you need separation, but if you choose to see yourself that way, I don't have a problem with it.
So, and also for those of you that are watching this, when Pink Tourmaline's talking and I look up like this, I'm not rolling my eyes. It's actually because there's a monitor up there and I can see her, and it's easier than going like this.
I think it's because you're so much shorter than me.
Okay, well, possibly. That's possible too. I mean, you're really tall. I'm only 5'3", you're 6'4". I mean, come
right, exactly.
on. Okay, so let's move on here.
Yeah.
Warlock means traitor, and wizard is just some Harry Potter shit.
I love Harry Potter.
What does being
I
a
like
witch
wizard.
entail?
It encompasses being connected with nature, doing rituals for the full moons and the holidays.
Being a witch is being, one, the rebel, because you're standing out against the crowd, and two, it's incorporating magic into your daily life.
How long have you been a witch?
Over 10 years.
I would say that I've been a strega for about 5 years.
I think I was born a witch, to
You
be
were
honest with
born
you.
one?
Yeah. As a teenager, not knowing what I...
I've been a witch for, I think, about 32 years now. What about you? Were you born a witch?
I mean, when I started really realizing what I was a older teenager, young adult.
And then there's those that say, well, you're born a witch, as if, and like this lady just said, her entire life, she was born a witch.
Well, yeah, you can be, and you might not even know what to call it. I remember when I was a kid, doors would open and close, and my mom would always always tell me how doors were always opening and closing wherever I was, and I don't remember that too much, but she, you know, it used to freak her out.
And you know, there's a saying that they say in the witchcraft community that says, once a witch, always a witch, even like from past lives. So they say it's like, if you're a witch in your past life, one of the things about being a witch is that you'll always be a witch again moving forward and be back with witchy family and witchy community. Right. So in a way, you can almost say if you're a witch now, you were born a witch, but maybe you just didn't recognize the practice again or bring it back into your life until later, like, you know. So
I have talked to people who said that they, you know, they've always been a witch and that they were born a witch, and a lot of us have memories of before we came here of being in like a big field or garden, and I have that memory of before I lived this life on some other realm or plane, just being in a big, huge field.
Dude, so that's extremely interesting because from when I was a kid, like really young, like a toddler, like I'd say about 5 years old probably, maybe, you know, one of my most common memories, so I used to daydream a lot, like I used to, like when I was a kid, and one of my biggest daydreams that I used to have all the time was being in a field, like a wheat field, and off in the distance was a forest, you know, that was like, you know, like you could, so it was like this whole wheat field type deal, and then there was like a wall of forest that would start, and I remember seeing all of this from like a farmhouse, like I'd be like coming out of the kitchen of like this old farmhouse. Now the weird thing is that I don't know any of this. I'd never been there or seen any of this, but I would always have this almost like a past memory of it. So it's interesting that you just said that, because it's like I had like the same thing, so to speak. I wonder if that's like a common thing. Does anybody else have something like that they've had? Put it down in the comments below, because that's kind of interesting, you know, how that played out. Okay, here we go.
I was doing, just like this inner thing prompted me to, like, if the full moon is out, go gather something, some leaves, put yourself in a circle, put some candles around. I didn't know what I was doing until I formally really studied.
Is being a witch something you decide to be, or are you just born that way?
I believe it's a calling, just like a Catholic priest or a nun gets called to the clergy.
Essentially.
Totally agree with that. I believe kind of like it's a calling. You don't agree?
I thought I wanted to be a nun actually when I was a kid.
Right.
So maybe
Yeah, but
I missed my calling.
But you ended up being a witch. So
well, yeah, you know, I just really like the fact that, you know, I was in a place with a bunch of like fun-loving women, and you know, because I knew a few nuns myself when I was a kid. We had a sister Fran back in the day who I used to do murals with on the walls of my school, my elementary school, and you know, she was really fun. She would do things like volleyball and play sports and stuff, and you wouldn't think to know this, but nuns have a really interesting life. They really do live it up. So.
Well, I want to be in a place with a lot of fun-loving women too. So, am I a nun?
Let's get back to the video.
Oh, okay.
Witchcraft, the basis of witchcraft is that you're doing some element of folk magic. So no, you're not born a witch. There's no hierarchy. There's no like, it's in my DNA, because technically it's in everyone's. I'm sure you've had birthday parties and you've had candles and you've made a wish and you've blown on that candle to make a wish.
That's part of American culture.
That's witchcraft.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Actually, in my candle magic video, I actually talk about that, about birthday candles and blowing them out and how it's all part of magic.
I use birthday candles in my regular witchcraft. I mean, witchcraft on the go. We all got lives nowadays, you know?
Yeah.
You can't sit there and watch a candle all day.
Yeah, totally useful. So this guy's like freaking out now because blowing out birthday candles is witchcraft. I kind of like Dylan. He's pretty cool. But, you know... Yeah, as far as this whole thing about being born a witch and everything, you know, I guess I kind of agree with him too. It's something that's like a calling, you know, but, you know, who knows?
Yeah, you know, with Mystik Dylan too, I gotta say, I've seen him in other things, I've seen him in other videos, and I just really like what he has to say. He's very informative. If you ever, you know, want to look up Mystik Dylan and see what he does, I think he does voodoo.
Yeah, something. Yeah, he does a lot of hoodoo stuff and whatnot, yeah. All right, here we go.
Witchcraft?
That's witchcraft.
Are there certain rules that you have to follow in order to be a witch?
The important thing to remember is the rule of 3, which is anything that you do comes back to you times 3. So not only are you going to get shoved, but you're probably going to get punched in the face.
Negativity.
Okay, see, I don't agree with that. I do not agree with that at all. So as a British traditional witchcraft, we're taught that it's not like if you do somebody to get a hangnail, like if you cast a bad spell on somebody to get a hangnail, it means they're going to break their ankle later. As all it is cause and effect. What the real meaning behind it is that everything we do in life, whether good or bad, it's going to have an effect. So if you are doing a lot of shitty things, ultimately that effect is going to ripple back. And it's going to ultimately start affecting you too, in a sense. Or things that you do, if you lead a shitty life and you're doing all kinds of shitty things, it's only going to beget shitty things. But it's not like if you cast a spell on somebody to get a bad sunburn, that, you know, a year or two later, you're going to burn up in a fire. It's not like that. It's not like meant to be like where whatever you did is going to be 3 times as bad. It's simply just meaning that, you know, that you're in that effect.
I think that, you know, nature serves you just desserts, you know, your intention and what energy you put out there. If somebody's constantly screwing with you, and then you're finally like, all right, I'm going to do this. It really depends on what you decide to do. If nature says, whoa, you know, like, that was a little much, that was a little extreme, you're probably going to get it pretty bad. Or if nature goes, well, they were asking for it, you might not get it as bad. I mean, you really don't know exactly how karma is going to come and foot you the bill, you know.
Pretty
you
much.
Never know.
No, that's
so,
true. Yeah.
You know, that makes you wonder exactly like, am I doing this for the right reasons? It makes you think. I think. If you think of it that way, it makes you think before you do it.
Yeah,
You know?
I think that was the main purpose behind it, was to just make you think, you know. But as far as the retribution itself goes, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work in a way that if you do something negative, you're going to get it 3 times as bad. It's just a matter of the fact that it's a whole ripple effect. And bottom line is, you need to be responsible for everything you do. You're responsible for everything that happens to you and everything you do. Okay, it's a hard lesson, but there's no devil to point the fingers at and blame, you know, and say, I'm an alcoholic because the devil made me do it. That's bullshit. You're an alcoholic because you drink too fucking much, and it's the way it works. I mean, all right, here we go.
Begets more negativity against yourself.
Exactly.
How is your daily life different as a witch than an average person?
Taking my dog for a walk is always an adventure, because I also scry and I see things in images and things. Did you ever look?
She scries her dog poop. No, I don't know. I mean, that's what's.
I was thinking
let's put this
but
whole
then
thing.
she's like going out into the street, you know, with cars coming, like, ooh.
Oh, wait a second. Oh, that's a good one.
Is that a heart-shaped cloud? Damn.
No. I still think she scries the dog. No. And I'm not.
Who hasn't tried different things? You know, puddles, things like that. Why not dog crap?
No.
Try it. I haven't tried it myself. Try it.
Fecomancy.
Oh my God, we're gonna get out of this conversation.
Comments below. Try it out. Okay, here we go. By the way, I just want to make a disclaimer, which I should have done at the beginning of the video. We're watching this video for the first time, and I'm not judging any of these people at all. I think that it's a great video to have out there. I just wanted to watch something and pretty much, you know, just share it with you guys and, you know, experience it. But I'm not here to judge and grade the video and make fun of people or nothing like that. So here we go.
Into the sky and look at the clouds and see images?
I'd see images and shapes in the clouds. I'd see faces in my popcorn ceiling growing
Yes,
up.
excellent, because you're scrying. That's what you're doing.
Scrying.
Right.
Are you actually able to perform magic?
Absolutely. We want to shut someone up, right? So someone's talking bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get a cow tongue.
Do you have to go there and rip it out yourself? Where do you get?
Yeah, I go deep into the woods. I find a cow. Our cows are puppies.
You get them at the grocery
Cows
store.
aren't in the woods.
You
No,
get them
just-
at the grocery store. And here's the thing is, I've done this, you know, I've done this. Let's just go.
Jesus. Oh my God, was that steak we had the other night, or was that cow tongue?
I guess we'll never know.
All right, here we go.
Ralph's.
Ralph sells cow tongue for you
Ralph.
to perform your...
So does Publix and Winn-Dixie.
I mean,
Your
it's
magic
not
work?
like something where you can't get it. It is readily available if you look for it, if you seek it.
I've seen it. Yep, it's there for real. Yep. I just don't know if I could eat something that might taste me back.
No, you don't eat this.
No, but they do eat cow tongue. That's why you buy. What do you think?
well, yeah,
do you think they
sense.
sell cow tongue for witches?
I can't do this. I can't. I'm sorry if you eat cow tongue, but I can't stand the thought of this. Oh my God. Okay, let's go.
Okay, here we go.
Magic with?
They know me. The tongue would represent the tongue of whoever's talking slander. So then you would make a slit in the tongue. You would write the person's name. I would use a few ingredients and herbs. I'd put that into the tongue. I go out into a park and I bury it. The thought process is that by doing that, you're correlating or tying the energy of whoever's talking gossip.
That looks pretty intense right there.
Yeah, and you do a lot of sigil magic on this too. Like you can see a sigil there. You do a lot of sigil magic. You sew it up. You sew whatever ingredients you put into that up, and yeah, you bury that sucker.
I've heard of like things where like girls will be like, if you cheat on me, and then just I don't know, you know what I'm saying. Anyway,
Uh-oh.
I mean, if you look at it, if it was something else, I mean, that would be pretty horrific.
I don't think they use a tongue for that. Do
No,
they?
exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Same thing, but not a tongue.
I've seen some stuff where they like make you like get like STDs and stuff.
What?
Yeah, I don't. I've seen some shit, man.
Okay, here we go. Moving right along.
To that tongue, and that the more that they would talk slander and gossip, the more bad luck that they would bring upon themselves until they are forced to apologize or make amends in some way.
Do you proudly tell people that you're a witch, or do you keep it more of a secret?
It's obvious in the way that I dress and my demeanor, and I think I have so many tattoos that allude to the fact.
I myself try not to tell anybody I'm a witch. I try to keep it a secret. I don't really like to put it in the public eye. Obviously, I'm full of crap, but because of it. Anyway.
Someone would look at you and just would know that you're a witch?
Oh yeah, I have a goat right here, and everyone's like, oh my God, you're satanic, which is not true. The goat actually represents fertility and earth.
I mean, in the store, everybody basically knows, but...
And now the whole world also.
And now the whole world will know. But, because I want people to see me as me.
Yeah.
And for who I am. And then, I mean, it's happened so many times when someone likes me and then they find out I'm a witch and they're like, and I'm like, but it's still me. You still it's still the same person you
I'm
liked
still
a half hour
Monica.
ago. Yeah, so.
You try to make people know you for you first.
Yes.
And then you'll tell them, oh yeah, and also.
By the way.
I'm a witch. Do you find that people are...
Why does her voice change like that? I don't know.
He's trying to make her seem kind of like.
Because I don't do that. When I say I'm a witch, I'm a witch. I'm a witch. Anyway.
People are typically skeptical of your beliefs and your powers.
My husband is totally non-magical. He just puts up with all of my weird stuff. But then he'll text me when he's at work and be like, hey, this thing happened. Can you throw some cards on it?
That happens so much with so many people, like the non-witchy people, where you're like a witch and they like totally don't want anything to do with it until they need something. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, can you do my cards real quick?
Yeah, when they're down on they're locked. You're like their number one source.
Yeah. Hey,
and
can you
they
do
don't
that?
believe in it anymore after it works for them.
Yeah, you know that candle thing you do, and then all of a sudden everything's okay. Can you do that for me real quick, please? Okay, here we go.
He'll say he doesn't believe
but he
any
doesn't
of it.
believe in it. He'll be like, nah, I have a lot of clients I've been counseling lately. Can we do a candle to kind of fix that? I'm like,
Right.
yeah, sure, no problem.
So you think people believe more than they say they do?
Absolutely.
Why do you think witches are generally associated with women and not men?
So once you go to the idea of
Well, let's see what he has to say.
Christianity, where Christianity is all about control, what ends up happening is that it becomes very misogynistic. So the female pagan gets put on trial, and if they are not Christian, they are obviously in league with the devil. So really, the whole thing of it is sex.
Can you...
Sex.
See, and this is what gets me every time is they talk about these Christians and again I'm not judging anybody for what they believe in or anything, but they talk about these Christians and it's with them it's like it's either like it's so black and white with them. It's either God or the devil, God or the devil. Like there's no in between.
Well, yeah, because
Like,
that's what makes them money.
What is that? You know, like,
if they keep the masses afraid of the devil, it keeps them coming to church and giving money.
yeah, fair enough.
All right, here we go.
You immediately recognize another witch? Do you have good witch dar?
You would be amazed at who's a witch. I
Yeah.
mean, I know lawyers, doctors, teachers. I even knew
too.
Catholic priests that actually came to a ritual. So, I mean, witches don't have to have a certain look.
Okay, that one's unique though. I don't know any Catholic priests or any priests, period, that have come to a ritual. That's a new
Doesn't
one.
surprise me.
Yeah.
They can look just like you or anybody here or
Yeah.
the person next to you on the train.
How has being a witch shaped your perspective of the world?
I have seen all the prejudice that comes with being a witch.
Yeah.
And I think because of that, I see prejudice everywhere. To me, it's made me more open-minded.
So because
and-
people are judgmental of you, you're like,
Yeah.
there's no reason to be judged.
I actually have experienced prejudice with witchcraft. I have never experienced prejudice with witchcraft except for 2 times my whole life. One time when I was with my band, Witch's Mark, and I was trying to get t-shirts made, and I was looking for a t-shirt shop, and the one t-shirt shop actually got a hold of me and said they would never print my shirts because we are not true God believers and everything and this and that, and you know, one day we'll come around and all this other stuff. And the second time I experienced prejudice to a degree is my current workplace, which I won't mention any names, but my current workplace actually is very prejudiced against me to where I have to go through bullshit and experience all kinds of things and pretty much, you know, picked on quite a lot and things like that. But I mean, I just lived through it.
Judgmental of me. In fact,
Right. There's no reason to be judgmental of anyone.
what's the most difficult part about being a witch?
Acceptance, people accepting who you are and what you stand for. That's the most difficult part.
And how does that make you feel when you receive that harsh criticism or judgment?
You know, I kind of, by this time part of my life, I just kind of let it roll off the back because I always say, I know who I am. And it's okay if you don't know who I am, but I know who I am, and that's all that matters.
Do you find it offensive when people dress up as witches or commercialize witches for Halloween?
Believe me, I love a good broom. You know, brooms are used in witchcraft. So I have brooms all over my house.
But not for flying?
But not for flying. Well, historically, yes.
What does that mean?
Here we go. Okay, I have an add-on, like, I think, because I watched a video once. I know Mystik Dylan a little bit. I've seen him quite a few times, and I watched a video once with the one with the girl who works the pole, but she kind of like does witchcraft but pole dances at the same time. I think that's why she has 100 and something thousand subscribers.
Witch of Wonderlust.
Witch of Wonderlust, where she ultimately had Mystik Dylan on a show. And he went through this explanation about the broom, and I was like jumping up and down because he's right, but there's more to it, and I'll tell you if he does it. Even I don't even know if he's gonna say it again, but I'm pretty sure he's probably gonna give the same explanation to this guy that he gave to her.
Yeah, everybody enjoys this story for some reason. It's kind of gross to me.
Yeah, it is. But all right, here we go.
They would concoct an ointment made of plants, and they would put it on the base of the broom, and women would ride them.
Ride the broom.
Ride the broom.
Ride the broom.
Ride the broom. They would ride the broom.
Oh, they would ride.
Put it in their vagina.
Just say vagina. It's not a bad word.
But can I give you another thing that they would do as witches? Why they depicted witches as riding brooms in the past? Because a lot of times witches in the past would, when they would ride, it was part of a ritual where they would straddle a broomstick and they would run through the fields, especially women who were menstruating, and they would run through the fields and they would jump up and down as high as they could while riding the brooms in order to try to show the crops how high they wanted them to grow. Like it was basically inspiring the crops to grow high. That's another reason they did it. His is probably a little bit better, but that's the reality. Is that that's one of the main reasons they did it. So, the whole thing with putting the broom with the ointment in their vagina or whatever orifice was because supposedly that was a flying ointment that was on there. It was a special ointment. It was like a hallucinogenic, and putting it in an orifice is a quick way for the body to absorb it so that they would hallucinate and actually be like, trip. Like they were flying to the local Sabbath or wherever if they couldn't make it, in person, physically, they would hopefully go there spiritually. Let's move on.
Ride the room.
Oh, they would ride.
Yes. And then they would fly.
Why do you think there's so often such an adverse reaction about witches in our society?
Because they're uneducated. Because people don't know what witchcraft really is. They found out from Disney, sorry Disney, and portraying the witches as evil. Every witch is evil in the cartoons.
The word witch can be used to negatively insult someone as well.
Yes, and I do that sometimes too.
You're guilty of that?
Witch. In a bad way,
Leslie Sanchez wants to know if you've ever had one of your spells come true.
I would say my average, about 85-90%.
I did a spell for a very specific amount of money and I had a deadline. I'm like, I need this money or better. About 2 hours before my deadline, I got approved for a loan that I did not think I was going to get. I'm like, what?
That's quick. She did a great job.
She did a great job. What I also like is when they're showing the witches is that they're green faced, and I never got how did that happen? Did somebody go to a witch's door while she was putting on a clay mud mask or something, and her face was all freaking green or something?
That's true.
What's with the green faces? I need I'm beside myself. I don't know.
Do you think
this is a thing.
Do you think the green face started with the Wizard of Oz, where they just?
Yeah, but where did they get the idea? They're like, listen. We're just gonna make it green.
Oh, actually, I think if you watch that show that came out, so there's the Wizard of Oz, right? But then there was that play that went around for the longest time, and it actually told the witches' side of the story, the Wicked Witch of the West side of the story. I forget the name of the show.
Oh wait, no, it was a Broadway musical.
Yeah.
What was it called? Wicked.
Yeah. I think, and that explains why she was green.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I haven't either. But I did hear that explains why she's green. Yeah. So, do you hear that it's storming? It's getting ready to storm. The lightning and thunder. You see that? I love it. I'm gonna sleep awesome tonight. I'm gonna sleep. This is gonna be great. Okay. Anyway, let's move on.
What? Then a week later, I got an unexpected check for the amount that I specifically asked for.
That would make me 100% a believer.
That was where I was like, oh my god, a witch. Witch.
That was the moment.
That was the moment.
Can witches actually live forever?
Yes.
I wish.
I was born in 1692. No, I'm kidding. So the ancient Egyptians believe in immortality as long as someone speaks about you. So that's why I think you have this idea of...
Okay, I have to mention one thing though. So my witch queen, she's 70, I'm gonna say she's I'm just gonna even it out. She's 70 something, we'll say 75 years old. If she sees this, please don't kill me. Anyway, so she looks like she's maybe in her 50s, for real. And a lot of the witchier women that I know, as old as they might be, they all look so much younger. And I asked my witch queen once, I was like, that's amazing. What is it with these witchy women that they look so much younger than they really are? And she told me that her philosophy is that because when you're in circle, time stops. So that if you circle a lot, you don't lose those years, I guess, or hours, or whatever it would be. I don't know.
Yeah, I want to speak on this thing that he's talking about with the Egyptians too. This is what I always say about Jesus. Actually, is a lot of people say, when I talk about how Jesus lives forever, he lives forever through the churches. He lives forever through the people that keep speaking his name. So it's very true. You can have eternal life. Jesus. If
you're well known.
John Lennon.
Yeah.
These people are continually being talked about on the daily, Therefore they live forever. And it doesn't have to just be good-spirited, good people. I mean, people talk about Nazis and Hitler all the time too. It's not
no,
you know what I mean? It's just you can live forever if you make a name for yourself and really put your mark on this world.
Gotcha. All right, here we go.
Living forever is because your family name lives forever.
Couldn't you argue that through the power of
That's what
marriage,
she just said.
Your name technically lives forever through
There
your
we
family?
go. Yeah,
Only the men
actually
live forever. If you think
live
about
forever.
it. Iris Lynn.
You know, that's the thing is that a lot of women don't even take the men's name anymore. Like, there's so many times that happens. I mean, I've only been married once, but when I was married to my ex, she didn't use my name, for instance.
I kept my last name too.
Yeah.
I won't take somebody else's last name. But that's not even that's not even true, because even though it's the men's side of the family that lives forever, you still have females on that side of the family, so it's not technically true at all.
Right.
We're not just a bunch of females running around without last names. So.
Mary who? No.
I know,
Okay,
right?
here we go.
And wants to know how often people assume you're satanic or that you worship the devil because
All the time.
of the fact that you're a witch.
I actually had a client 2 weeks ago, lovely person. I did a candle for them, it worked. And they came back to me and they're like, I just want to let you know, I know that you use the devil in your craft, but I really don't care because it got me to do what I want to do. I was like, wait, what? First of all, don't give the devil credit for my work.
Exactly.
Maya Papaya wants to know if you've ever tried to use a spell to hurt someone.
No. No. Okay, I'm lying. What did you
I was just gonna say, you are lying.
She totally thought about karma when she lied too. She's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna come clean."
Let's go on. Here we go.
before I knew what I was doing? I had this one teacher that was just really nasty and abrasive to me, and I was like, you know what, I'm done with her.
Yeah.
So me and a friend got together and we did a little thing, and then when we went back to school on Monday, she wasn't there.
Did you ever find out what happened to her?
Yeah, it was her father, who had the same initials as her, was in the hospital.
And you cast a spell with her initials?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Misdirected magic.
Oh, yeah.
There are hexes and there are curses and there are things like that.
Yeah.
I just think that sometimes people need a kick in the ass. Here's when I realized that I was a witch and witchcraft worked. There was this chick, Bridget, in middle school, and she was a One day, I was reading this book, and it was like, if you want to remove someone from your life, you did a binding on them, or you sent them away, and you got a piece of their hair, and you tied their hair in 9 knots, and then you flushed it down the toilet. Okay? So I sat right behind Bridget one day, and got her hair, tied it in 9 knots, flushed it down the toilet, and get this, I kid you not, within 2 weeks, she got in a fight with some other dude, and they had to do it's one or the other. Someone has to leave the class and get transferred to another class. So they put their names in a hat, and they shook the hat, and they pulled out her name, and she got sent to the other class, and I was like, I'm a f***ing witch.
Can you imagine if they chose the president of the United States like that? She,
Oh my God. Actually work out. Why not try, right? No.
So you mentioned that you could do a demonstration with me.
Absolutely. What I'm going to do is called claromancy, the art of throwing lots or throwing bones. So we have our ancestral markers. So I put these at the corners. Okay, and these are not human bones.
What kind of animal does this belong to?
Raccoon, fox, coyote, gator.
And how'd you get that?
Crow. So they're all ethically sourced. I guess I should say that. Do you have a question you want to ask?
Will this video get over 1 million views?
Ooh. Okay, so
I wonder how many views this thing had.
Okay, you're gonna blow, shake, and throw.
I've seen that in a porno too. No, just kidding.
I love this form of divination.
All right, here we go.
Ooh, there we go.
Okay.
So, first and foremost, do you see this jawbone right here?
Yes, I do.
So this has to do with communication. Okay, so if you promote it and you put it out there, it will.
This is actually a great demonstration. If you guys watch my divination video I did about a month ago, it actually has this type of divination in it, and it explains it. So here's actually a great example of it.
Gator
So
foot.
as long as I promote this video, it will get 1 million views?
Yes. You have the intent of it getting 1 million views.
I do.
Boom.
You sure as hell bet your ass.
Me too. 1 million views, people. 1 million views.
I do.
Well,
What do you think the biggest misconception about witches is?
one, that we are tied into the supernatural, that we can manipulate things for real, that we levitate, or that we actually believe that we can do that.
That we are evil and that we hurt people and, eat babies and drink blood.
You want to know what I really love about this lady?
What?
Is that a lot of the witches I really know actually look like they,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If you, she's
got
like
a very
she's like a
witchy look to her,
typical
yeah.
like witch here, and of some of the witches here in South Florida. It's like
Or even in Salem.
yeah.
I want to speak to like that like flying or floating. I've talked to other people like this. I believe I do that while I'm sleeping. Like sometimes I'll be floating and then all of a sudden when I wake up I fall in the bed.
Wow. Are you sure you're like maybe you're just jerking like because you're astrally
I don't
projecting?
know, but you want to know what I know is that it feels like floating. And
Yeah.
it's all
I bet you're
feel.
astral projecting.
I bet you're, but it's not like I'm trying to. It's just
Well,
like,
no, that's when most
Yeah.
people do it, when you don't want to. The
Sleep.
thing is, if you can control it, man, that's awesome. But a lot of people can't control it. So many people astral project or out of body experience even when they're sleeping, and they don't have any control over it.
Yeah.
But anyway, here, let's move on.
I have a parting gift for you.
Yay!
This is the best interviewer shirt, which you could get on padildoshop.com. That's the perfect shirt to be your
Padildo shop?
I don't want to say anything.
What?
I don't think you thought that name through.
Okay, here we go.
your witchcraft in. People will take you more seriously when you wear it. Trust me, look at me.
Okay, yeah, I know.
I have voodoo dolls at home of all of you. If you do not go subscribe to Anthony Padilla, I will be sticking needles in every single.
Oh, Padilla. I still don't get it. Okay,
I think
anyway.
that's how you pronounce it, because I went to school with a girl with that same last name, and she pronounced it like that.
No, I understand that, but where does Padildo come from?
I don't know, but I'm really this ending part with the voodoo dolls and what she's saying. I mean, it's a funny thing, but it actually puts out that same energy that Hollywood's been putting out about voodoo dolls all this time. Is that we use them for harm, and we're gonna stick needles in you, and you're gonna be hurting after that. I don't understand why she would do that, knowing what she knows. But
Ow.
hey, teach their own, I guess.
Right. All right, here we go.
All right, you got 5 seconds to shout out or promote anything you want directly into camera. Go.
Follow my podcast, The Witch in the Medium. Follow me on Instagram, Mystik Dylan Official.
Check me out on Instagram at Intuitive Shauna and check out my witchy podcast, Wine, Spirits, and Witches.
We have a new podcast, and it's called Wine, Spirits, and Witches, and you can find that on SoundCloud.
Thank you so much, Dylan. I feel like
you.
I fully understand the wondrous world of witches. After spending the day with these witches, I've come to realize just how deeply they're able to connect with the earth and how they're able to see the magic behind what many of us may consider to be mundane. Who are we to judge these witches for thinking differently and experiencing the world in such a profoundly unique way, especially when being kind and accepting is at the forefront of their intentions? See you later. Bye, guys.
Press the like.
Press the like.
Keep that lit in the office. So in
Lit?
Yep. I'm gonna start saying that every
I
time
really
I light
like
my
this
candles.
girl's cat eye frame.
You're gonna hear that
glasses. Those are
coming
really
from
cool.
upstairs in my office. Thank you for that.
All right, guys. So that's the end. So I thought that was pretty cool. It actually was pretty educating. So I actually enjoyed that video and think it was awesome. I give it a, I think it was well produced and it kind of gave some truths out there. So I gave a lot of truths. It was actually pretty decent. I like it. Let me know how you think down in the comments below what you guys thought of that. So any comments?
It was pretty cool.
Well, all right. Well, that's gonna wrap up this video. So again, if you guys come back next week, I believe I'm putting out a video on wort cunning. If you don't know what that is, then tune in next week and you'll see what that is. But if you like this video, please hit that like button or do the thumbs up and subscribe. Make sure you ring that little bell and choose the all so that you can see future videos to come. And I have a Patreon account. If you can, I have a store all in the description below. where you can buy merchandise and whatnot and all that fun stuff. So anyways, looking forward to seeing you guys next week. So we love you guys, and blessed be, and see you later.